On July 6, 1988, a maintenance miscommunication aboard Piper Alpha triggered the deadliest offshore rig disaster in history. 167 men never came home. 22 years later, Deepwater Horizon claimed 11 more. Yet today, thousands of workers still choose life on the edge of the open ocean, inside some of the most dangerous workplaces on Earth. To understand why, you first have to understand what these rigs really are. These structures are self-contained industrial cities anchored or floating over deep ocean reservoirs. They exist because over 30% of the world's oil and gas lies trapped beneath the seabed, far from land. To reach these deposits, the industry relies on 4 primary platform families, each designed for specific depths and water conditions. Fixed platforms utilize heavy steel or concrete jackets secured directly to the seafloor in waters up to 200 meters deep. In deeper basins, semi-submersibles float on submerged pontoons, maintaining their position above the wellhead using computerized thrusters. Drill ships offer mobility, carrying drilling derricks to remote ocean coordinates, while floating production, storage, and offloading units known by the industry as FPSO units act as processing facilities and tankers when building subsea pipelines is impractical. The primary defense against a catastrophic release of hydrocarbons is the blowout preventer, a massive valve system on the seabed designed to seal the well if pressure surges out of control. Crews manage these high-pressure operations under extreme environmental stress. In the North Sea, they endure freezing gales and massive swells, while the Gulf of Mexico presents seasonal hurricane threats. Because these platforms operate miles from the coast, this geographic isolation transforms any operational emergency into a race against time. Before a worker ever boards a helicopter to reach these isolated platforms, they must pass rigorous pre-deployment medical checks. Once on board, their existence is governed by a precise repeating cycle. Crews operate on 14 on, 14 off rotations or 21 on, 21 off rotations, spending up to 3 weeks working 12-hour shifts, followed by an equal period of rest on shore. Each shift begins with the mandatory morning muster. Derrickmen, roughnecks, and specialists gather for safety briefings, reviewing essential tasks and weather conditions before stepping onto the deck. The next 12 hours are a continuous loop of heavy labor, equipment maintenance, and constant inspections. When the shift ends, the confinement of the rig remains. Workers retire to compact cabins where personal space is limited to berths of just 2 square meters. They eat communal meals in a shared galley and use common hygiene facilities, all while surrounded by the low, constant hum of machinery. Because the noise and vibrations never stop, fatigue is a constant presence. Circadian rhythms become disrupted, and the resulting exhaustion directly threatens the safety of the entire platform. To prevent fatigue-induced errors, operators utilize scheduled rest periods, watch rotations, and on-site medics to monitor physical and mental wellness. Offshore life remains repetitive, highly structured, and never truly relaxed. On the drill floor, roughnecks physically handle heavy steel pipe segments to connect or disconnect the drilling string. They operate in the immediate line of fire, constantly exposed to crushing pinch points, hot work sparks, and confined space hazards. High above the deck, the derrickman works within the derrick structure, guiding the massive traveling block and crown block during pipe transitions. This role monitors tripping speed and verifies load limits, where a single miscalculation in timing can collapse the drilling string. Bridging the gap between the ocean and the platform, crane operators transfer heavy modules, supply crates, and pipe reels from moving supply vessels. They analyze load charts, test safety interlocks, and monitor wind speed limits to prevent catastrophic boom failures in high winds. Beneath the waves, subsea technicians and commercial divers with IMCA-D-class certifications inspect the blowout preventer and maintain underwater valves. Working in near freezing depths, they confront decompression sickness, hypothermia, and physical entrapment while supporting remote-operated vehicle maneuvers. Each distinct role operates as a critical link in a fragile, interdependent system where one mistake can compromise the entire rig. To measure the exact scale of offshore danger, the industry relies on the fatal accident rate, or FAR, the number of deaths occurring per 100 million work hours. The International Association of Oil and Gas Producers reported 32 industry fatalities in its 2024 dataset, yielding a global rate of 0.77. Out on the water, however, that risk spikes. The offshore fatal accident rate climbs to 1.31, more than double the exposure of onshore operations. Even where safety systems excel, the danger remains constant. The International Marine Contractors Association recorded an offshore rate of 0.18 with 3 fatalities in 2023, yet their records show a line of fire observation rate of 440 hazardous situations per million hours. In the United States, the American Petroleum Institute logs an offshore non-fatal incident rate of 0.7 per 100 full-time workers, while the broader domestic extraction sector suffered 65 fatalities in 2024. Even when regional regulations achieve milestones, such as the United Kingdom's Health and Safety Executive reporting 0 offshore worker fatalities in 2024, the underlying hazard never changes. On site, it is the rig medic and health and safety officers who must translate these industrial statistics into daily preservation. They track the near misses and manage the exhaustion that precedes a crisis. Knowing that a single slip can skew the data, it raises a fundamental question. What drives a person to sign up for this level of risk? The answer begins with a clear economic calculation. For an entry-level floor hand or roughneck in the United States, that calculation starts between $40,000 and $60,000 a year. With experience on deepwater Gulf platforms, those annual earnings can reach $108,000. This financial ladder extends across every role on the deck. Derrickmen move from entry-level earnings of $45,000 to over $130,000 as veterans. Crane operators earn an average of $64,000, though specialized day rates can push their income far higher. Near the bottom of the structure, certified subsea technicians and commercial divers often earn over $120,000. Yet these figures reflect more than raw skill. This compensation is heavily built on hazard pay, overtime, and rotation bonuses designed to offset weeks of complete isolation. Apart from the paycheck, workers cite the strong camaraderie of a self-contained community and structured certification paths that offer a direct route to senior engineering roles. They return to the water because the job provides a predictable career path, matching the extreme environment with tangible security. The Piper Alpha disaster of July 6, 1988, when explosions killed 167 North Sea workers, forced a complete redesign of offshore safety. The subsequent Cullen inquiry produced 106 recommendations, transferring safety oversight to the Health and Safety Executive in 1991. This transition established the 1992 Offshore Installations Safety Case Regulations, requiring operators to document active hazard management. Operators upgraded permit-to-work protocols, installed subsea isolation valves, implemented remote shutdown networks, and applied fireproofing standards designed by the Fire and Blast Information Group, founded in 1992. In 2010, the Deepwater Horizon blowout in the Gulf of Mexico killed 11 workers, exposing severe failures when unrecognized drill pipe buckling disabled the blowout preventer. The United States responded by establishing the Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement to enforce the 2020 Well Control Rule, requiring redundant control pods, real-time monitoring, and rigorous hydraulic tests. Paired with OPITO mandatory safety training and emergency simulation drills, these layered defenses helped reduce Gulf fatalities from an average of 2 to 3 annually between 2011 and 2013 to approximately 1 per year from 2014 to 2018. Even as partial automation reduces manual hazards, human judgment remains the final line of defense. Today, our reliance on offshore energy still rests on the quiet vigilance of those miles out at sea. As drilling pushes into deeper, harsher frontiers, the true cost of power remains measured in human endurance. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.